I was Jack's live-in maid, Lucy. On Anna's second day in the house, she sold me off to Tom, the night watchman, as his wife. The reason was that the noodle shop across the street tasted better, so all the customers had gone there. Tom wasn't making money and didn't plan to keep going. Once he said that, I realized I was the only customer in his shop, while the place across the street was packed. Tom's words suddenly gave me an idea. I asked him to take me to the kitchen. I knew how to make noodles. Tom loved noodles, but he was extremely picky. The cooks in Tom's household had changed countless times, so I had specifically studied noodle making and eventually made quite a few bowls that Tom liked. I said I wanted to be the cook here. Tom thought I was joking and ignored me. I went straight into the kitchen and made a bowl of noodles. The aroma filled the air, even drawing several diners over from across the street. If I could handle someone as picky as Tom, ordinary people would be no problem. Tom picked up his chopsticks and took a bite. Right away, he decided to hire me on a trial basis. The pay would be 2 taels of silver a month. Wasn't this finally a turn of luck? I hummed a little tune on my way home. Seeing me so happy, Jack asked what had happened. I told him everything. He smiled until his eyes curved, praising me as a capable woman and saying he had found a treasure. He said Tom's household had no taste, which was why they sold me off. Seeing him grin like a fool, I handed him the half-tael of silver and told him to buy some meat. Tonight, we'd have a good meal and invite Anna over too. I hadn't seen her in so long, and I missed her. After I started working at the noodle shop, business gradually improved. I added more than 10 kinds of noodles, plus my own pickled side dishes, and the customers couldn't stop praising them. Afong, who served the food, said, "Lucy, you really are this shop's lucky star." Tom also said it was all thanks to me, so everyone at the noodle shop respected me a lot. I also worked hard at the shop. Every day was busy, but I felt that simple life was happiness. From time to time, I brought home some food from the shop and shared some with Anna. More than half a year passed. Jack gained a little weight, and his pale skin had more color. His dry yellow curls became soft and shiny. His light amber left eye looked clear and bright. The crescent birthmark on his brow seemed gentle, and his shoulders, which had been hunched for years, slowly straightened. Anna said Jack had turned out so well that if his father knew in the afterlife, he'd be at peace. The two of us only needed a child now. I blushed and lowered my head. Jack did too. Honestly, after getting used to him, he didn't look that ugly anymore. The noodle shop's business kept getting better, and our lives improved with it. I added many household items to our home, and Jack's little house looked more and more like a real home. He said even doing night watch now made him feel full of energy. Just as I was thinking about moving into a bigger place, Tom suddenly paid me my monthly wages. Tom told me to look for a new job. He even gave me some extra money and apologized to me. My mother is sick back home, so I have to go take care of her. I suggested bringing his mother here. Tom said his mother was frail and probably couldn't handle the rough travel. I've already decided to transfer this shop. I hate to let it go, but my mother only has one son. I can't just abandon her. I was touched by Tom's devotion to his mother, but I truly couldn't bear to part with this shop. A bold idea suddenly flashed through my mind. Tom, how much are you planning to transfer this shop for? 30 taels of silver. As long as it's within 10 days, I'm in a hurry to go home. I took out all the jewelry Tom had given me and had Jack pawn it all. Even then, we only got 12 tiles back. With what we had saved, we only had 23 tiles. I went to Anna's house. Anna took out her savings from all these years and gave them to me, but it was only 6 tiles. It still wasn't enough. Just as I was worrying, someone knocked on the door. It was George from the embroidery shop on East Street. Smiling, he handed me a money pouch. Inside were more than 400 copper coins. "Ma'am, this is the money for the handkerchiefs. You hadn't come by in so long, so I had to bring it to you. This much. All my remaining handkerchiefs sold? A lady bought them all. She absolutely loved your work and said if you had more, she'd take all of them. So I came here shamelessly to ask if you have any new handkerchiefs. Do you have any extra handkerchiefs?" I shook my head awkwardly and said I was working as a cook at a noodle shop now, so I wasn't embroidering for the time being. Peter looked disappointed. Before leaving, he came back and said if I ever had any embroidery, I had to show him first. Even with that money added in, I was still far short, so I went to ask John if he could transfer the shop to me first. I'd slowly pay him back the rest later. "I don't think I can do that." John looked troubled. He said David told him someone had already come to see the shop and was ready to pay. I was burning with anxiety. If this shop kept running, it would definitely make money. It'd be such a waste to miss it. Just when I had no idea what to do, Jack handed me a heavy pouch. I opened it and saw pieces of silver inside, more than 10 taels in total. "It's okay, I believe in you." I'd never heard him mention any family heirloom before, but things were urgent, so I didn't ask much. Worst case, I'd redeem it when we had money. And just like that, the noodle shop reopened. I became the owner. To earn more, I added breakfast service. I also hired Mary for 1 tael of silver a month, more than she used to make. Her sweet drinks were really popular and sold a lot every day, so I raised her monthly pay to 1.5 taels. Business was booming. In just 1 year, I saved over 10 taels of silver. After I talked him into it, Jack stopped working as a night watchman and ran the noodle shop with me. He handled cleaning and picking vegetables. One early morning, Mary had just brought out a big steamer of hot buns when a beggar rushed over, grabbed 2 buns and ran. David immediately chased after her and I followed. We finally caught her at the corner by the city wall. David grabbed her clothes, but she kept stuffing buns into her mouth, choking so hard tears came out. David raised his hand to hit her, but I sighed. Forget it, she's pitiful too. The moment the beggar spoke, I realized she was Anna. Her hair had covered her face, so I hadn't recognized her. "Lucy, please save me." Anna desperately kowtowed to me. I was about to pull her up when she collapsed and passed out. David carried her back to the shop. I called a doctor for her and brewed some medicine before she finally woke up. As she drank the medicine, she cried and told me everything. After I left, she thought she had a chance and secretly tried to get Tom's attention, but Amy found out and sold her off to Mike. Mike had a violent temper, and his whole family was hard to deal with. After entering that household, she worked from dawn to night and never even got a bite of meat. If she did anything wrong, she was beaten until her body was covered in wounds. Later she got pregnant, but she was beaten so badly she miscarried. Her body was damaged, and she could never have children again. Her mother-in-law called her worthless and beat her even harder. Not long ago, she ruined one of her mother-in-law's clothes. Knowing she'd be beaten again, she simply ran away. Because she had no travel permit, she couldn't leave the city. She could only hide around town and come out for food when there weren't many people. I couldn't help feeling sorry for her. But maids were just toys in their master's hands. Before leaving the household, how could they control their own fate? Meeting someone like Mike could ruin an entire life. "You can't go in!" David's anxious voice carried a hint of fear. "My wife is here, I'm taking her home." "Bro, I say your wife just needs a beating. One good beating and she'll behave." Ha! The medicine bowl in Anna's hands fell to the floor. Trembling, she got out of bed and knelt before me, kowtowing. "Lucy, please don't send me back, otherwise they'll beat me to death." "Hurry, help her up!" Mike stormed into the inner room and grabbed Anna by the hair. "You damn woman, come with me!" "Lucy, help me, let go!" I shouted sharply. Mike looked at me and sneered. "She's my wife. What's it got to do with you?" "Exactly. A little tramp like her ran away, so her arms and legs should be broken and she should be locked at home." The one speaking was a younger woman. "Kate, if you beat someone to death, you'll go to jail." "Jail? A shameless woman like her should be stripped, tied up, and beaten to death. Let her go first." Mike shoved me to the ground and dragged Anna a few more steps. Anna was crying from the pain, screaming in despair. "Lucy, save me! Please save me!" "What are you doing?" Jack appeared at the doorway. He was small and thin, looking even more insignificant next to the tall Mike. "You little runt, you useless night watchman, don't block my way. You need to apologize to my wife," Jack yelled. Usually he was polite to everyone and didn't even dare raise his voice. "Apologize my ass!" Mike raised his fist, big as a sandbag, and swung it at Jack. It was about to hit him in the face. "Stop! How much for your wife? I'll buy her." Mike turned his head in disbelief. "You're really buying her?" Mike let go. Anna fell to the ground and Mary helped her up, eyes full of pity. "I paid 5 taels for her. Give me 12, and she's yours." He was asking for way too much. Amy had sold Anna for 1 coin. How could he possibly have bought her for 5 taels? He clearly thought I was an easy target. I went into the inner room, took out a piece of silver, and held it in front of him with a cold face. "Only 6 taels. Take it or leave it." The moment Mike saw the silver, he lit up and put on a smile. 12 is a bit much. Add a little. 8 taels, and this dead woman is yours. No more. 6 taels is already a lot. You could buy a servant, even a free commoner, for that. Fine, I'll take the loss. 6 taels, she's yours. As he spoke, Mike reached for the silver. I moved my hand away. "Give me the contract." Money in one hand, contract in the other. Before long, Mike brought over the sale contract. I glanced at it. It had the red seal on it. He had only spent 500 coins buying Anna. I didn't bother arguing with him. Once I got the contract, Mike snatched the silver from my hand and left. I tore up the contract. "Anna, you're free." Anna sat on the ground and sobbed. "Lucy, you saved my life." That night, in front of everyone, Anna apologized to Jack for what happened at Fragrance House. Jack blushed and said, "It's okay, I'd already forgotten." But when he looked up, I saw his reddened eyes. Everyone deserves respect, no matter how humble they are. Hurt becomes a thorn in the heart. He hadn't forgotten. He had waited too long for that apology. Some people may never get one. After that, Anna stayed to help at my shop. Business kept getting better. 5 years later, the South flooded, and the North fell into drought. With corrupt officials making things worse, life became harder and harder. Business at my noodle shop also kept declining. Several rebel armies had been fighting the court. Bandits took the chance to cause chaos, and people could barely make ends meet. 3 months later, I let everyone go. I also gave each person 2 extra taels of silver. Times were hard. No one had it easy. Anna didn't leave. She said she had no home, and Jack and I were her family. Anna had been kidnapped by human traffickers. Later, she had tried to find her family. Her father had died of illness, and her 3rd brother was missing. Those sold as maids were all poor people. The bandits suddenly stormed in one evening. We were moving things from the shop back home when screams broke out everywhere. The bandits killed anyone they saw. We ran for our lives toward home. Just as we were almost there, hoofbeats behind us became terrifyingly clear. The bandits had caught up to us. The cold flash of a blade entered my sight. I closed my eyes and waited for death, but a splash of warmth jolted me awake. It was Mary. She had taken the blow for me. The bright blade had gone straight through her chest, the exposed half still dripping blood. The bandit raised his sword again, but a horn sounded in the distance and called him back. Mary collapsed. I held her and cried my heart out. Jack and Anna crawled over, trembling, tears pouring down their faces. "Lucy, don't cry. I've lived enough in this life. You're still young. You and Jack have to live well." She pulled my hand and Jack's hand together. "I'm going to see my husband and my son now. You all live well." After saying that, Mary's hand dropped, but there was still a smile on her lips. Her eyes didn't close. She just stared up at the sky. My mother died early. Mary had cared for me like a mother and helped run everything. I had already come to see her as my own mother. Hoofbeats sounded again in the distance. The bandits were coming back. I clung to Mary and refused to let go. Jack forcefully dragged me back home. Only after midnight, when it was silent outside, did the 3 of us quietly go out. I wanted to bring Mary's body back and bury her properly. Outside, corpses covered the ground, blood stained the stone streets, and the air reeked of blood. After just a few steps, a hand grabbed my foot. I was so scared I covered my mouth. "Save me!" a hoarse voice came through. I lowered my head and pushed the person's hair aside. It was Tom. His clothes were soaked with blood and his hair was a mess. We brought him home. Tom said when the bandits entered the city, they killed the wealthy families first. The Tom family estate had been looted clean. He was the only son, and his family protected him with their lives. Robert and Helen took knife blows for him. Amy was captured while protecting him. After killing 2 bandits with a gold hairpin, she took her own life. Tom escaped only by risking everything. The once grand Tom family was gone overnight. Tom stayed with me for 5 months before he recovered. Around then, government troops fought their way in, and the bandits withdrew. Tom stood before the ruins in silence. One day, he told me he was leaving. He was going to join the army and avenge his family. I bought him a war horse and new robes, then gave him 5 taels of silver, hoping he could build himself a bright future. Before leaving, he gave Jack and me a deep bow. "Jack, brother, you deserve this bow from me." On the way back, we met 3 children who had lost their families in the war, so we took them in. Jack was born unable to have children and he would never have his own. I kept that secret. Whenever outsiders urged him to take a concubine, he always cursed them out. We took the 3 children to visit Mary's grave and had them call her Grandma Mary. The bandit chaos finally ended. I reopened the noodle shop and 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. The streets were filled with drums and gongs. The newly appointed general of Tiger Might was returning home today. He had achieved great victories at the border. The general in armor leaped down from his horse and entered the shop. Wasn't that Tom? There was a new scar on his face. He brought many gifts to thank us for saving him. News that General Tom had come to the noodle shop spread quickly. Customers came nonstop to eat noodles. I hung a sign outside, closed. William, the officer, said General Tom wanted to see me. Jack stood at the doorway. "Are you coming back? If you do, remember to buy osmanthus cakes." Tom's new mansion was luxurious. After passing through 4 courtyards, I found him waiting in the main hall. After some small talk, he dismissed the servants. "Lucy, I wronged you back then. Would you be willing to become the lady of the general's mansion?" "I'll compensate Jack. I know he's a good man." He tried to take my hand, but I stood up and stepped far back. I was no longer the Lucy from back then, and he was no longer the Tom from back then. The beautiful past only needed to stay sealed in my heart. A simple, ordinary life was what had slowly become my real life. I said goodbye to Tom and went home alone. A strand of hair was blown loose by the wind, and I noticed a silver hair among it. At some point, snow had started falling. It had also been snowing when I left Tom's estate. From far away, I saw Jack wearing a straw hat, quietly waiting with a lantern. The 3 children gathered around him. "Dad, is Mom not coming back?" "She will. Your mom can't bear to leave us." Jack ran toward me with the lantern, shielded me from the falling snow, and took off his cloak for me. I bought the osmanthus cakes. Anna also made chicken soup. That made me feel grounded. Our family of 5 walked side by side through the snow. Jack fell ill. After Ben got married, Jack suddenly collapsed and could no longer get out of bed. "After I'm gone, go find General Tom. You've suffered by staying with me." "Suffered? Being with you made my life better and better." He held my hand. I was so happy when I handed over that 1 coin. I could finally have a wife. "I thought you would leave, but you stayed. I stayed by your side willingly. My family never had any heirloom. That money was from Tom. Back then, he came to me on his own. Lucy deserves a good man, not a wasted life." Jack closed his eyes and stopped moving. He was gone. At the funeral, Tom personally wrote the mourning couplet and sent wreaths. Jack had been looked down on for most of his life, but after death, he was honored grandly. But what I could never forget was Anna's apology. 1 year after Jack passed, Tom wrote to ask if I was willing to live in the general's mansion, just to live there. I heard the emperor valued him, and he protected the people with passion and loyalty. In front of the messenger, I burned the letter. No need to worry about me anymore. Anna said she later learned that Amy's powerful family could have solved the crisis. Tom's parents had threatened him by saying they'd sell me to a brothel. Tom often regretted it, but he had been powerless. Between love and family, he couldn't have both, so he chose the easier path. Avoiding harm and chasing benefit is human nature. I was just a maid with no control over my life, but I was also lucky. I met kind-hearted Jack. After that day, Anna also fell ill. When she was delirious, she curled up in the corner and screamed, "Don't hit me!" When she was lucid, she kept thanking me. Then she softly said, "Lucy, I'm sorry, thank you." Then she fell silent forever. Tom came one more time. The emperor had sent him to fight the northern tribes. "Lucy, take care. Tom, take care." I had almost forgotten that name. General Tom died on the battlefield. The court posthumously named him Duke Protector, granting him honors equal to imperial relatives. It was said he had a wife who died during the bandit chaos, but her body was never found, so they could only build a cenotaph. Among his belongings, they found several beautifully handmade silk handkerchiefs. Some said he had been lonely his whole life, perhaps because of the owner of those handkerchiefs. But no one knew who that owner was. The answer was buried beneath the yellow earth.